Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And I want to shout out Tredina Brown, 2249, who has been a supporter for a long time, as well as Vicky Adams, 6648. Thank you very much for being longtime supporters of this channel. Also, Bedrock Home Central, Valerian Steele, Alexis Matthews, 8029, Ram Soldier, 86, Brandy Williams, Lynette Russell, 3657, and the Orwellian Whale. Thank you very much for your support. And today, I'm still on the subject of Black Americans and Africans because I think this is something that we need to have out and we need to do it thoroughly. We don't need to be, oh, you're talking about them too much. Oh, or what you're doing is divisive. No, this is something that needs to be done and is clarity. And the title of this video is Stop Grouping Black Americans with Africans. And I feel very strongly about this because Africans came here with the attitude that we weren't Africans, they weren't Black, and they were different from us. Now, all of a sudden, we're the same. Well, I think we should set the boundary and we should keep the boundary. We can respect each other and still keep our boundaries. They have their boundaries, and so we need to set ours. Now, if you don't agree with me, let me know. But I say stop grouping Black Americans with Africans. And when I say Africans, I mean Caribbeans too, all of them. And this is why. They came here with the attitude that somehow they were going to be put in a higher hierarchy than we're in. Well, I've already declared that we're not even in the hierarchy, so they can have the hierarchy. But we need to keep our culture. And we need to remind them that they do not identify as Black, and there's no reason to start when they come to the United States of America. We are Black, and that's that. Our histories, our cultures, and our realities are not interchangeable. And stop using Africa as a catch-all label for every Black person on earth. Because when you do that, you're not promoting unity, you're promoting erasure. And I'm talking directly to creators like the man behind the Bantu City Diaries, who loves to make sweeping statements about Africa and then drag Black Americans into it like we're part of the same storyline. We're not. Black Americans are not Africans. And when Africans first started coming to the United States, they told us that. You're not Africans. You weren't born in Africa. That was when they thought that being an African was going to carry some weight in the United States. I just got to tell you something. If you come to the United States as an immigrant, whether it's to go to school, whether it's to work, and especially if you come as a refugee or a TPS, you cannot impress white people. Now, you can take that or you can leave it alone and see for yourself if what I'm saying is true. See, Ilhan Omar thought she was doing something big when she got elected to Congress. She thought she was doing something really big and she was doing all that big talk. You see, and white people have shut her up. They aren't through with her yet. But you see, they've shut her up. I believe that Black immigrants think that because their ancestors weren't enslaved here, that gives them a higher status than us. They're wrong. Ours were enslaved, but they made a place for us here. They fought for us and they made a place for us. Nobody has made a place for them here or where they came from. And they will have to learn that the hard way. But I think ICE is giving most of them a pretty good wake-up call. But the thing that they need to understand once and for all is that Black Americans have always added value to this country. We didn't come here as asylum seekers. We didn't come here as refugees. We didn't come here to get a job. We didn't come here to get an education. They came and got us. We are here by special invitation, and they are not. They are here out of desperation. And Black Americans need to point that out whenever necessary. We didn't immigrate here. We didn't come here voluntarily. We didn't arrive with our language, our tribe, or nations intact. We were taken. stripped of identity, and forced to build a new one under a racial caste system that lasted centuries. So when someone tries to collapse all of that into African, what they're really doing is rewriting our identity to fit their narrative. Now, the reason I'm doing this particular video is because, as you know, I watch the Bantu City Diaries quite a bit. And the man who does the Bantu City Diaries talks negatively about Africa all the time, especially Nigeria. But somehow he tries to weave Black Americans into the conversation as if to say, we're just like them, we're all the same. And I have a problem with that. He talks about the political issues, the economic issues, and the social issues in Africa. And as I say, he pinpoints Nigeria because he is a Nigerian. But instead of dealing with the realities of what's going on in Africa directly, he pulls, somehow he'll sneak Black Americans into the conversation to say, well, they're doing the same thing and we're not doing the same thing. We're not the same people. We don't have the same history. We don't have the same worldview, and we don't have the same behavior. And I just have a problem with that. And that's why I say stop grouping Black Americans with Africans, because we're different people. There might be some similarities somewhere, but we are not the same people. And what he's doing is disrespectful. In his latest video, he was talking about cities in the world. And he was talking about all of these cities, like even in North Korea and Turkey and Paris, all of the cities where they have the tourist areas, where those areas look good no matter where they are. And then they have the non-tourist areas. China, North Korea, Paris, New York, all cities have the part that they show to the tourist and the tourist area, and then they have the place where the regular people live, and that's the slum sometimes. He says he's doing it because he wants Africans to do better. But we're not Africans, and we're Americans, and we are America's problem. America has to deal with the problems of Black America. And so he doesn't even need to be comparing us to anything to do with Africa, because we are not Africans. And Africa doesn't have any say-so over us. It's up to America to make the cities that Black Americans live in desirable. And most of them are. Our cities are on point because the people who have come here for the World Cup didn't want to go back to Europe. The Europeans did not want to go back because America is vibrant and alive, and it's also diverse. And America is just modern. It's just modern. And Black Americans are doing better than any Black people in the world, but he still tries to drag us down the way he does Africans. Now, he does the Africans the most, but he'll slip Black Americans in. And I resent that because he doesn't know our history. I guarantee you he doesn't know our history. He doesn't know our story. He's speaking from white supremacist talking points. And it's clear, whenever he talks, it's very clear that he does not like being African. We like being American. A lot of us do. A lot of us like being Black Americans. We have a very high standard of living, and we're not asking Africa for anything except to stay out of our business. And so my feeling is, if you want to critique Africa, critique Africa. If you want to talk about corruption in Africa, talk about corruption in Africa. If you want to talk about development in Africa, talk about development in Africa. But don't drag Black Americans into your example, your contrast for any reason. That's how I feel about it.
Let me make the distinction or the delineation. I'm a foundational Black American. My mama Black, my daddy Black. I did not come from any place other than here. I don't go to Jamaica and speak on what's happening in the grill. I do not go to Ghana and speak what's happening in Ghana. I do not go to Nigeria and talk about what's happening in Lagos because it's none of my business. It is not my place.
And that is exactly the position that I think we all should take. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about the video, and have a good day.